Welcome back.
Welcome
Thank you.
back. I was waiting for the song. I'm still not used to the song not being there because we don't have a song here.
Well, I mean, we haven't had a song for the last 2 weeks because we keep getting the copyright.
Muscle memory. Just saying.
I'm just saying.
It is another episode of Pardon the Punctuation. I am your host, Aaron Smith, joined by the self-proclaimed best producer in the city, Ed Mayhall. Jeff Howell was called into work. We'll see if he is able to make it back. I'm not even sure if he's driving his truck at this point. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. But it was
wild.
It was a winning weekend here. But before we get into any of that, anything fun and exciting happened with you since we last spoke?
No, not that I can think of.
Nothing happened this weekend. Soccer or
no, we didn't have any soccer this weekend.
No.
Michelle was sick all week.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, nothing happened here. Nothing. Oh, it was Dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
There you go.
I got bossed around by my niece all Sunday evening. That was nice.
I smoked 18 pounds of
18 pounds of pork shoulder?
Yep.
How'd that go for you?
Had to cut that bitch in half.
It didn't fit in the smoker like that?
Well, I mean, you have to smoke it an hour for every pound of meat.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do an 18-hour.
Oh, smoke. Okay. All right.
Cut it in half, and you only have to go about 9-10 hours.
That's fair, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I usually get like the 2 pork butts at it's Sam's Club thing.
Well, this was Costco, so I get it. That's where I got 18 pounds.
I still have all that pork belly left I need to smoke, but I went to go smoke it. I was gonna make pork belly burn-ins, and I went to go cut it, and the skin was still on it. So I know, right? So I gotta cut the skin off. I have to learn how to do that first, I guess. Thanks a lot, Jungle Gyms.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, Brennix has learned how to giggle.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's endless hours of fun.
It's not a sustained giggle. It's not one that you can get on command or anything yet. I mean, we're still like we'll tickle her sometimes, and she'll giggle sometimes, and sometimes she just looks at you like not happening.
Well, it's probably the headband, but yeah.
I mean, it's fine. Everything's fine.
The continuous giggles is when it gets real good, because then it just doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going.
I just can't wait for like the good belly laugh, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Other than that, obviously without our third partner here, I think that's what happened this week. So we can hop into our first segment, I suppose. And as soon as you tweet out a link to the show, I'll be more than happy to.
Wait, I should do that.
The Bengals.
Dang on it. The loop automatically turns on now.
The Bengals beat the Panthers 42-21. You get a chance to watch the game?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. What an entertaining game that was.
Thank God.
That was a good game. I mean, it was good. I mean,
I'm just saying, without Jeff, this would have been a very difficult segment to talk about if you had not watched the game. So I'm happy you watched it. Joe Burrow finishes 22-28, 206 yards. Didn't have to do much because the show was stolen. He had 1 touchdown, 1 sack. Joe Mixon, 22 carries, 153 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Joe Burrow actually also had a rushing touchdown on his 4 carries for 9 yards. He had the little scamper into the end zone. But Joe Mixon also had 4 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown, putting him over 200 yards on the day, and 5 scores in total. T. Higgins was able to he had 8 targets.
Yeah.
Caught 7 of them, 60 yards. They don't high point him enough, in my opinion. I think that they should throw him more jump balls where he can just go up and get it, because there's not too many corners in this league that can go up with him and come down.
Taylor had a nice high ball catch. That guy had to jump like 12 feet in the air to catch that thing.
Trent Taylor.
Yeah.
But between Trenton Irwin and Trent Taylor, I don't think I realized we had this many white dudes running around on the field. I don't remember the last time there were this many white dudes on the Bengals offense.
Between those two and Hayden Hurst and
Joe, and
it's a good point. It's like you see basketball this year.
It's a strange thing, but
the last time I remember was like what was his name? Number 11 country guy.
AJ or not
Shipley, Jordan Shipley.
Jordan Shipley. I don't know. I mean, I was certainly happy with the way things went. If you lose to Carolina, especially after Carolina trades away some of their pieces with Christian McCaffrey gone, Robbie Anderson gone, you had to beat Carolina.
Oh, absolutely had to beat Carolina. I think not only did the offense play good, but I think the defense played very good as well. I don't think Carolina had a first down until like the last 5 minutes of the second quarter or something like that, right?
I would have gone with very well also. But yeah, PJ Walker was not good. Went 3 for 10, and he got pulled for Baker Mayfield, who came back, went 14 of 20 for 2 touchdowns. May have won his starting job back.
Might have.
Not that I guess it really means much in a hapless 2-7 season for Carolina.
But like in the whole first half, they kept talking about how him and the other backup quarterback were like, oh, they're all a team. He comes off the field and they see what they're, and then all of a sudden he comes in and plays and takes. It was real talk up of him, I think.
Brandon Allen ends up on the field for the Bengals, coming in for Joe Burrow. So I mean, they stepped on the throat of the Carolina Panthers, didn't let it become a game. What were your biggest takeaways in the game, though?
The running game. Running game being back. There were holes open. I didn't see a lot of mistakes by Jonah Williams.
Not just holes open, but like Joe Mixon was able to actually find those holes.
Yes. I think I only counted one sack because of Jonah Williams.
Well, there was only one sack in the game.
So it was the only one then. I watched. I don't know how that one happened. He just got right by him. But again, until last week did not know Jonah Williams didn't have a patella. So, yeah, the offensive line played very well, and the running game was back, and that's something we've been worried about for the last
He still has a patella. It was just
it's just missing somewhere inside his leg.
It was dislocated.
It's all the way down his ankle now or something. Who knows? It's like when you get that contact goes like way up in the back of your eye. It's like, oh, it's gone now. You get 23 of them, later. But like that's been a concern. Like, when is Mixon going to get the running game going? Is that concern gone after this game? I don't think so. I mean, it's a crappy Carolina team. So will it continue on after, because we have a bye week? So will it continue on after the bye week? That's still to be seen. I hope so, because when we have the running game and now we have Jamar Chase out with the running game, that's just going to help. It's just going to be an amazing addition to the offense. I don't think that gets us a Super Bowl run, but we'll see. A lot of people upset about the one field goal miss.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it comes off of a couple missed field goals in the previous game. So now he's missed a couple in 2 games.
But wasn't he hurt?
I don't believe so.
I believe he was hurt.
I didn't read anything having to do with that, but
I'll have to look that up again.
I could have missed it.
I thought I read somewhere that it was hurt.
In any case, you hope that he gets back on track, because he's
sure
a major reason that we had the playoff run that we did.
Saved our asses a lot last year.
That was quite an S.
Sorry.
It was interesting to see him in practice today also punting.
Is that a sign?
Well, I think the sign is Kevin Huber is probably not going to be a Bengal.
After the bye?
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
But he had a very long career in Cincinnati as the former Bearcat. But I don't know. I mean, it's time. It was probably time during preseason. I think I was one who was ready to move on. Drew Chrisman has been as good, if not better, than anything that Kevin Huber brought. Maybe better than his best punt this season. Just saying. I understand that there's like the fact that McPherson is more comfortable with Kevin Huber as a holder, but happy trails.
I mean, I wish the best of luck to him, but it's the punts are coming up short, and I think it is time to move on. I wish they would have done it during the offseason, like you said, so that we wouldn't have like this kind of like exit. You know what I mean? Like this kind of like
where you have to be the one to be like, you gotta go.
Like you're not working out very much anymore. You're not working for us anymore. But I mean, it's been a good career. All you can really say.
Yeah. And he got to go to a Super Bowl.
You got to go to a Super Bowl.
That's
a couple Pro Bowls, maybe.
Maybe.
Probably not in Hawaii.
But well, thanks, Steven, for the well wishes on the stream tonight. He says Aaron's lost his hat, Ed's lost his sleeves. Off to a great start.
I love the sleeveless hoodie.
But I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's time. I'm wondering though why they were. There's no way they go with just McPherson as both your kicker and your punter.
I don't think it's ever been done before, has it?
If not, I mean, not in any recent history that I can remember, anyway. I don't know. Back in the day, I'm sure you didn't have a kicker, like a specialist kicker for each position, like in the early days of football. But I don't. If he gets injured on a punt, you're out a kicker at both positions. You got nothing. I can't imagine you go with just one guy trying to open up roster spots. That would be playing with fire.
Well, I don't know what this website is called, Quora, but I typed in, has there ever been a punter and a kicker, the same player? Actually, I started typing it in and pre-populated, so that's why it sounds weird. I know how to type. And it's all saying back in the day.
Yeah, that's about what I figured. So I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, the biggest thing was the fact that you reestablished the run game. Finally, the line held up in a game that they should have held up, and kept Joe off the ground largely.
I would also like to reiterate, though, like, it was a crappy Carolina team. So I don't think our concerns with Joe Mixon in his running game are completely gone, but I feel better about them. I know there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, there's no need to worry about him anymore." But hopefully this is the kickstart that he needed. Hello, Chad.
Well, he apparently joined us, but it wasn't quite ready to join.
He may just join just to listen, because he said last night he wasn't coming on.
Yeah, maybe.
Put him back down there, like his video comes on.
Yep.
I'm just here to listen.
Okay, all right. So you don't get fined. I got you.
Yeah. McAfee did do it in college. He was really good at it.
At West Virginia?
Yeah, he was their punter and their field goal kicker.
I was just saying professionally.
No. I know.
Yeah.
That's the last guy I really remember that ever like double dipped at a really high level.
Okay.
I think he was actually like a finalist for punter of the year and field goal kicker of the year. I
think he said that a couple times on his show. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a dude. You guys got a monster leg.
Yes, he does.
Other than that, I'm just here to like hang out in the background.
Okay,
fine.
See ya.
Hi, Chad. By the way, if you're listening to this podcast on Bearcat Nation, please stop posting tickets. Deleted like 7 in the last hour.
Jesse Bates had a pick. Jermaine Pratt had a pick.
Steven, I thought Chad only joined to yell on this podcast, so I'm yelling also. He wrote that in all caps.
Cooler heads have prevailed here this week, Steve.
I wasn't going to yell because I didn't want to wake up Steven's dog.
I don't know. I mean, as you look around the conference now, though, as Cincinnati stands at 5-4, Baltimore at 6-3.
We got flexed out of a Sunday night game.
We did against the Steelers. That's why. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with the Bengals.
I think it has all to do with Steelers. I mean, you're obviously going to put who they put Kansas City in there.
Yeah. Against LA.
Yeah. They suck.
But Pittsburgh's 2-6. Like,
I was thinking Raiders. Sorry.
Yeah, they're in Vegas.
Yeah, they're in Vegas now.
Cleveland at 3-5. So you're starting to separate yourself from Cleveland here. Only a game out on Baltimore for the conference, although currently Baltimore has the tiebreaker. Around the conference now, I guess it would be Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Tennessee as your conference winners if the season ended this week. And there are the Jets. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Jets, Miami, at 6-3, and the Chargers at 5-3 ahead of you, and New England tied with Cincinnati at 5-4.
This should probably be a lightning round topic, but you brought up the Jets. How about all the haters coming out after Sauce now that were 8 games in, and now all of a sudden we say, "Oh, he holds every time. He holds all the time. It's always pass interference. You're just not calling it." Yeah, they haven't called pass interference on him for high school, college, or 9 games into the pro season.
I mean, there's certainly been some questionable no calls towards the end of some games where it's become a highlight play. But if the flag doesn't go, what are you going to do? Like, there isn't a flag.
Yep.
You can't make the refs throw flags. And it's not as if the Jets haven't suffered really bad for a very long time. So, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. You can't get mad at a guy. If you're not going to call it, keep doing it. Why wouldn't you? I would keep doing it. If it's not being called, I'd keep doing it. Whatever.
Exactly.
I don't know, though. I mean, I guess as far as the line goes, are you surprised to see the line have a bounce back game the way that the offensive line did?
Yes, especially with how bad that the game against the Browns was. Was it 5-6 sacks, something like that?
I can find out for you.
Every time you turned around, the line was just letting people go through. Yes, I was surprised to see
5 sacks.
him. Yeah, I was surprised to see them bounce back in the manner that they did. Just because, that's a huge jump. 5 sacks to 1 sack.
Yeah.
What was that? Against the Browns, we had 1 touchdown. 6 this week. So, yes, I thought that was a big turnaround for him. And again, just like the running game, I hope that is turning.
They had 2 touchdowns last week.
13.
Joe threw for 2. They missed an extra point. I told you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
A couple field goals.
That's right.
T. Higgins had 1. Tyler Boyd had 1.
That's right. That's a lot of candy that night. But I mean, just like the running game, I hope that's a turnaround too. Is it? We'll see next week. It kind of sucks that we have this bye week because I kind of just want to hope. I want to see. I want to see right away. But that win going into the bye week is also good for us. So,
well, you also want to see if maybe Chase can come back.
Yeah, there's
the bye week
that DJ Reader could be back after the bye week.
That'd be huge.
And then
this team had no sacks against the Panthers, even against PJ Walker and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. And Taylor didn't say anything in his press conference about Chase coming back after the bye week, but there's been a lot of talk about possibly Chase coming back after the bye week. I guess he was on Modern Warfare saying that he was fine.
Of course, you wonder because he jumped into the stands with apparently a hairline fractured hip. He was able to jump up and sit on the wall. I would think they would put him on IR if he was going to be out longer than 4 weeks. So we'll see.
Somebody on another show that I was listening to said that the hairline fracture of today that we see today could be a lot different than we've seen in the past. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know how any of this works. I'm just, I stayed at a Holiday Inn once, and I worked in an attorney's office. But like they're saying that the new technology could show like what? How get
you sound like a UCF grad.
Well, let's not go that far, please. But like a hairline fracture of today may not have been seen on the instruments that we had yesterday, right? So this hairline fracture 5 years ago may never have been seen, and he could have done the whole season. So this might be a precautionary thing for his career. So who knows? But
I don't know. Obviously, we don't want him to come back too early and re-aggravate anything.
Especially if he's our future, right?
Not only that, but if you want to make a playoff run, and this is something that he can heal back from before the end of the season, you don't want to rush him back. So we'll see. Outside of that, trying to think if there was any other storyline. Defensive backs didn't appear to be an issue, as obviously they were running short on defensive backs.
Who had the interception? His name
Bates.
Jesse Bates.
Jermaine Pratt.
Thank you. Jermaine Pratt had the interception.
But he's a linebacker, not a defensive back.
I don't care. I'm just saying he had an interception.
I talked about that about 5 minutes ago.
I missed it. I was tweeting things.
But that didn't prove to be an issue that they had, and that was certainly something that we were all concerned about as the trade line came and went. Chris Evans did get injured in the game. So I don't know what his status is going forward. I haven't seen or read anything in regards to him. So we will see what I don't know what. Curious if I do a quick. I just did a quick Twitter search, and it's of course Captain America Chris Evans. So that doesn't help anything.
Same guy though, right?
No. Week to week with a shoulder injury. So no, that was Dax Hill week to week with a shoulder injury. Chris Evans week to week with a PCL injury. So those are your injuries coming up this week. I don't know that there's really much else to talk about with regards to the Bengals against Carolina. They do have coming up a bye week, and then you get the Steelers. So after that, the Titans
Chiefs, Browns.
I did see that the Bengals, as of right now, have the second toughest remaining schedule.
Well, I mean, yeah,
you got
Steelers, Titans.
Steelers 2-6, Titans 5-3, Chiefs 6-2, the Browns, who they apparently has Joe Burrow ever beat the Browns?
No,
I don't believe he has.
He never has, and they should have Deshaun Watson back by that point. They should have
Deshaun Watson back at that point. But they're at 3-5. The Buccaneers at 4-5. The Patriots also at 5-4. The Bills at 6-2. Who knows what's going on with with their quarterback.
That's shorter.
Who was Josh Allen's putting together an MVP season, and yikes.
They got pulled way back.
And then you finish the season with the 6-3 Ravens. So certainly a lot of football left to be played. And obviously you hope to see if the Bengals can put it together and get back into the playoffs.
Did you catch that comeback by the Buccaneers on Sunday?
No, I didn't watch a ton of football on Sunday.
Tom Brady, as washed up as he is, just somehow was able to march down the field in like 7 throws and score a touchdown. That whole game was horrible, and all of a sudden he just came out of nowhere.
I did see an excellent tweet today about Tom Brady that showed his picture from when he was drafted and his picture now, and said, "You're not ugly, you're just poor." You win, Twitter. You win
again. That's
outside of that though. I don't really have anything else.
Enjoy the bye week.
Yeah. I'm of course gonna miss a little bit of Bengals this week, but NFL Red Zone, here we come. So Bearcats beat Navy on Saturday. I was there up in the press box until the fourth quarter when I went down to the sidelines, as I always do. Huh?
Nothing.
You talking shit?
Nope.
Yeah, I bet.
Never would.
You did on Twitter.
Oh, I did. Possibly.
And would you call me press box princess?
I wasn't on Twitter. That was on your show last night. Yeah.
I hate you. Navy's never a fun game. Did you watch that one?
I did not get to watch all of it, but I did watch some of it. Yes, it was actually kind of a boring game.
Anytime you play Navy, it's a boring game because Navy slogs it out and they eat up clock. They don't pass the ball. Run, triple option, run.
Yeah, if we're going to be honest, I was actually flipping back and forth between that and the MLS championship game.
I hate you.
Which was not a boring game, but we won't talk about that.
Navy collectively finishes 4 of 6 for 84 yards in the air, 53 rushes for 176 yards and a touchdown. The Bearcats, on the other hand, Ben Bryant finishes 25 of 35, 299 yards, just missed 300.
Not a bad game for him.
2 touchdowns. Charles McClellan led the way for rushers, 11 rushes, 60 yards, and Tyler Scott had 10 receptions, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Beast.
Dog.
Ivan Pace led all tacklers with 14, 1 sack, 2 for a loss. And Dante Corleone was right behind him, 11 tackles. He, I believe, still leads all of Pro Football Focus as the best rated defensive player in the country, which is crazy. Kid out of Coleraine.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, Chad's told the story where like he struggled to run his first season as a Bearcat when they would do stairs and stuff. And to see where he's gotten his body to now, where I believe he lost something like 60 pounds.
It's a testament to your boy.
Brady, yeah.
Yeah.
Brady Collins, no joke.
I swear to God, we have and we'll talk about this later, but just like watching some of the guys last night in the basketball game, we have to have one of the best strength and conditioning programs in basketball and football in the country.
Yeah.
It's wild. I should get in there. I just need to lose 50 pounds. That's all.
The key is keeping it off.
That's the part. Yeah. That's the part.
That's the hard part.
These Black Cat beers don't help. These things, it's a light beer though. It's a light beer, but
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you have any takeaways against Navy for what you did watch?
I guess my only takeaway was that I feel like Ben Bryant had a decent game. For the score being as close as it was, I think he he played pretty well, and I guess that's a good thing going into our our next few games.
Yeah, it was 2010. I don't know that it was.
Running games.
It felt closer than you want it to be, I guess.
Yeah.
But they only had the Bearcats only had 9 possessions.
That's an interesting stat.
9.
I didn't catch that.
Like I said, when Navy they play the possession game, it's not easy.
Interesting. Something I heard on the broadcast, and just I guess a fun fact that they brought up on the broadcast. Navy isn't like a lot of colleges who have the super seniors with that COVID year and everything, because once they hit a certain age, they're off serving. So they're constantly going to be like a younger team, I guess.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I guess I never thought about that until they brought it up, the service schools. So
yeah, definitely makes sense. Tyler Scott just continues to wow. You got to be happy that he's back at full health.
So I put in my notes back in the first game. I swear it's in here somewhere. But I wrote in here, watch Tyler Scott this season. I swear I did. It's in here somewhere.
Well, we talked about it. We all talked about it.
I know, but I wrote it down. I was watching the game, and I just wanted to go back to that just to show that I do watch the games, but now I can't find where I wrote it down at. Was it notes or was it pages? I don't remember.
It's fine.
It is what it is.
So both Coach and Ben Bryant talked today in the press conference about the outside noise, about the fans kind of talking about Ben Bryant, not in a good light. Luke mentioned that he needed to be probably a little bit more in tune with what's going on outside, because he, as he always says, he lives under a rock. Ben Bryant said, "No, it's just words. Like I don't care what people say about
sure."
Me." What are your thoughts though about the fans' reaction to what Ben Bryant has done on the field, largely? As we are moderators for Bearcat Nation on Facebook, and that group is a cesspool.
Wild. That group is wild. Good people in there. Good people. But during these games, it gets wild. Look, the way I look at it is
so much negativity about the student athletes themselves.
And that's why I started that group, to keep that negativity away. And because there were so many student athletes in that other group. And I'm like, well, it's just not fair to them. They're 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. At that point, I was drinking 6 packs of Bud Light in your dorm room and watching whatever the hell it was we watching
when we were that old, not when we started the group.
Right. No. Yeah. Yes. When we were that old, I don't need people coming at me at that age. But anyways, the way I look at it from my perspective, I didn't become a fan of football until probably my senior year of high school. And that's like when Carson Palmer came with the Bengals and all that kind of stuff. And that's when the Bengals started getting good, right? Because my whole
Bengals were bad our whole childhood. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. My whole childhood, the Bengals were bad and the Bearcats were bad.
Correct.
So we didn't really have football to watch.
Not locally, I guess. We had Ohio State, or you had Notre Dame, or you had the NFL. But the NFL, even back in 2000, 2001, 2002, there wasn't a ton that you could watch.
Right. And I didn't play football, so mostly because my mom lied to me. But so I became a fan like my senior year. So wait,
go back to that. Because your mom lied to you. What are you talking about?
So when I was younger, in like 1st and 2nd grade, I would have neck problems, right? To the point where like I couldn't move my neck, like to look at the board. You know how they had, like, the tables were always set up really weird in class, and you have to like look like this to look at the board. I couldn't do that. I had like these. I had to get MRI, or a CAT scan for it, and all that. Long story short,
I've never heard this story.
Yeah, long story short, my mom told me that the doctor said I could never play football. Like never.
Your mom told you that.
My mom told me that. And so I was like, well, that was a lot of neck pain. I remember it, even first, second grade, I remember the pain. So I just assumed that was correct. Well, then like I graduated high school and, I switched to a new doctor and they're like, oh, tell me about your medical history. It's like, you used to have a lot of neck pain. That's why, because he's like, oh, you're a big guy. You probably played football. And I was like, no, I had a lot of neck pain. My mom told me I couldn't ever play. He looks at my charts and he goes, it says you were cleared to play physical sports when you were in 4th grade. I was like, God, mom lied to me. And that's when I started playing flag football. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I'm not a football.
So your whole life is a lie?
Also, my parents took my dog and said they were going to my uncle. He was going to my uncle's farm to live out the rest of his life.
Have a farm?
My uncle, my uncle's brother's farm.
Which would also be your uncle.
That side is kind of.
No. That's aunts and uncles
by definition
brothers, are by definition are brothers of your parents.
So,
unless if the aunt. It was
my mom. It was my dad's mom's
uncle by marriage.
Hold on. It was my dad's mom's sister's husband. My dad's mom's sister's husband.
So your great uncle by marriage.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah. So I never knew like his brother. Like I never knew like past them.
Well,
right?
Didn't expect to get into the Mayhall family tree.
Yeah, I know it's weird, right?
Parents lying to their kids is one thing. I think the Mayhall family might have taken it a little too far.
Well, they did. I remember it was a Sunday evening. They said
could explain some of why your actual brothers
are Xavier
just
fans.
as screwed up as you are.
Yeah. But they said this is
Xavier and Michigan fans.
They said they were taking him to live on his farm, but my uncle was taking him to live on his brother's farm for the rest of his life because he's a beagle and he needs to run. And
that's not
years later I realized what that meant.
Beagles aren't even runners.
Yeah, years later I realized what that meant.
They just
said he died. He died.
He died. Yes,
and they lied to you about it.
Yes, this is a true story.
Beagles just stink. They don't run.
We got another beagle shortly after that.
Because your beagle died. Kind of like your football career when your mom was just like, I'm not letting football.
He's not playing. He could be in the marching band and ride a unicycle.
And believe it or not, Ed was skinny. Ed was skinny in high school.
I was skinny in high school.
Ed could have been a tight end.
I was 170. I could have been a tight end in high school.
I was like 135.
You were a basketball player, so you could have been a tight end.
I would have been a badass tight end in high school.
Shoulda, coulda.
Oh, at Northwest, so probably not. But
how does that work though? If you're in the band and on the football team,
they played. Don't remember Derek Gibson and Justin Fleckler were on the football team, and they would come off the field at halftime, take their pads off, just put on their jacket, and Derek would go up there and conduct, and Justin would play his trombone.
R.I.P. DG.
Yeah, R.I.P. That one. Anyway. But anyways, yeah. That's how that worked. But anyways, yeah. What I'm trying to say is I don't have a lot of football knowledge. All the football knowledge I have comes from watching it since 2003. So I trust the coach's decisions on these types of things. I don't know if Prater is a better quarterback than Bryant. I don't know. I didn't go to the practices like you. I don't go down to watch practices at Nippert. I don't do any of that. So I only see what I see when he's in the last
here's
10,
how you know
15 minutes of a game sometimes.
How you know is the fact that Luke Fickell named him the starter.
Exactly.
And has not ever shied from that decision.
Exactly. So so what I mean, I don't question his decisions. He is a smarter man at football and probably a lot of other things than I am. He has a barn. I don't.
Gino also made that decision.
Right. Gino, obviously great quarterback, right? Smarter man than I am. He doesn't have a barn though, I don't think.
So In any case,
that was a long way of saying that I trust the coaches.
We went to places I never expected.
I didn't expect to go to that either, but got interesting.
Outside of that, Corey Kiner has not seen a ton of usage over the course of he had what touchdowns in 5 straight games, I believe. Obviously, he had the finger issue. He had no carries against UCF, as they didn't run the ball very much against UCF. Again, didn't run the ball very much against Navy. Navy has a very good run defense. Makes perfect sense considering that's all they run during practice. So they should have a very good run defense.
Yes.
He ends up with 1 carry for 2 yards in this game, came in, and there was a very loud ovation for him coming in and getting his 1 carry. Chad came out on Monday saying he's out on Hometown Heroes because of Evan Prater and the people clamoring for him to get in the game.
Oh, okay.
Also, I think some of the people who are Evan Prater stands are probably looking at him being the highest ranked recruit ever in Bearcats history. And then also Corey Kiner being a hometown hero and people clamoring for him to play more. Do you have any thoughts on any of that?
I mean, I think here in Cincinnati we get real.
We're loyal.
We're loyal. We're super loyal, and we have some good football programs. And so we go like Pat McAfee said when he went to the Xavier versus LaSalle, St. Xavier versus LaSalle game, I think it was. He said there were people tailgating in the
St. X, but okay.
Okay, fine. St. X versus LaSalle game. There were people tailgating in the parking lot of a high school football game. He's like, you don't see that. And so like, we're really like passionate about our high school football players. And so when we see our high school football players go to our favorite colleges, yeah, we get super fanboy over it. Like we get super, he should be playing. Do you remember what he did against Lakota in the 2005 Spring Classic? Whatever it might be. We get super hung up on it, and we have to understand like college is a bunch of players from all over the country, guys that we haven't seen play before because they didn't go to our local high schools. And there's going to be guys who are better than the kids who went to our local high schools.
Correct.
And we have to understand that.
Chad, if you're still listening, I want you to pop back in. I got a counter argument for you here. We'll see if we'll see if he's still available. Sorry, I'm used to producing.
I was having a bag of Doritos.
Did you just all of them to the face?
No,
because there's only like 7 Doritos in those.
Yeah, these
bags.
are like the bags Kelsey takes to lunch.
I hate them.
So I just needed a little snack. So
quick pick me up.
Yeah.
So here's my counter to your out on Hometown Heroes.
And you didn't tell the whole story. I said this is half-hearted and a hot take, and
I know.
But you didn't tell that part. You just I'm out on Hometown Heroes.
I gave the Cliff Notes. It took me.
Those weren't the Cliff Notes.
It took me 48 hours to come up with a counter.
Okay.
But I came up with a counter.
Okay.
The defense.
Ivan Pace. I'm out on offensive Hometown Heroes.
I was going to say Ivan Pace, Deshaun Pace,
Dante Corleone. Bring all the defensive guys you want. The Black Cats, bring all the Black Cats you want.
Dante
Corleone. The offensive guys,
Javon Hicks.
Go get them from somewhere else.
Malik Van. I mean, there's so many. Who am I missing here? I'm sure I'm missing some.
Yeah.
But there are the defense is littered with hometown heroes.
Jaheim Thomas.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Littered with hometown heroes.
I'm out on offensive hometown heroes.
Okay.
Get your offensive heroes from somewhere else.
Josh Wiley.
Okay, there's one.
Just saying.
There. We got one.
Still a counter.
There's 11, so you're under 10%.
How am I under on the offensive side of the ball? Okay.
Yeah. You got one. And it was very tongue in cheek.
I know. But that's why, again, it took me 48 hours to come up with an argument.
That's how good a point it was, even tongue in cheek. That's how good it was. It took you 2 days.
And I don't know how, even during the podcast, I wasn't like, oh, wait a minute. What about the entire defense? The entire defense.
The Black Cats are no name, right? Like it's no name. Just go out there and do work. Yeah. Go out there and do work. Offense, everybody wants, everybody loves the backup quarterback. Everybody wants the number 3 guy on the depth chart at running back. I don't even want to call Corey third string. The Corey thing, it's not Corey's fault. There are just 2 guys ahead of him.
And he got here late.
Yeah. And the things he's struggling with are what you should struggle with if you got somewhere late and then dealt with injury stuff when you got there.
Well,
pass protection.
Look at the 2 people ahead of him. The 2 people ahead of him on the
have been here 100 years.
Correct. That was the point I was getting to, is the fact that it's Chuck and it's Monty, and they have been here collectively between the 2 of them. They've been here damn near a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, you have almost 10 years of experience in this offense between those 2 guys. Miles is not ahead of him.
No.
The other guy in the running back room is not ahead of him.
We won't talk about that yet.
I wasn't.
He looked good today. I saw the back of his jersey a lot today, which is usually a pretty good sign that you're having a good day.
I'm just saying. But I
agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if he rises back up the depth chart. But in any case,
me either.
So yeah, just a weird thing. But I wanted to bring that up because I like to argue with you, and I thought that this was one.
I know. How do you like to argue with me, and then you get your feelings hurt when we argue?
Because this was one we weren't going to scream at each other.
I don't. When we really get into you don't want to get into an argument with me. I won't. I'm not going to lose. I won't lose.
No, you're like Tom Petty. You won't back down.
No, I will not.
Even when I have good reason for the stance that I have with stats to back it up. I'm not just out here like, oh, Ben Bryant sucks. We can't. Well, just get him out of there. He just sucks. Like, I actually had reason for.
Yeah. I still don't back down.
No, neither do I. So
stand me up at the gates of hell, and I won't back down.
I threw you that alley-oop. I was hoping that you'd just get ran.
Dang, I'm about to bust out my Tom Petty record and throw it on the turntable.
In any case, I don't know that I have much more on the Bearcats and Navy. I guess that kind of gets us back on track to where we wanted to be. But there was a game last night, so let's talk about it. The Bearcats take down Chaminade in the season opener, the home opener. Did you know the nickname of Chaminade prior to last night?
No, I didn't even know Chaminade was from Hawaii prior to last night.
Do you even know Chaminade's nickname now?
No, because what their logo is a sword with a peacock.
The Silver Swords.
I would have said the peacock swords. Okay. Somebody on the internet today, Landers Nolly retweeted the tweet that Go Bearcats put out on his stats from last night. Yeah. And somebody from a different school said, "You beat a chlamydia team. Congratulations." I didn't even know how to say Chaminade.
Landers actually responded to that too, saying, "Yeah, we beat a disease team."
Yeah. It's pretty funny, actually.
It was actually a Memphis fan who was
it a Memphis fan? I was trying to figure it out.
He was in Landers mentions.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Landers left Memphis. The guy, it's one of those bots that just nonstop talk shit.
It's a troll account.
I went back and looked at his account, and all he tweeted was political stuff, and I'm like, well, this is weird.
Yeah, I did that too, but I went far enough back to find stuff from April where he was talking shit to Landers about leaving Memphis.
Oh, I saw politics and I clicked off.
So. Well. So yeah, they beat Chaminade.
Yeah.
98-55. This is your time to shine, Ed. So give me your observations from the game.
My observations are I like it when we play the score points offense. Let's
start here before we even get into that.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by the starting five?
No, because again, I didn't know what was going on. Are we surprised? I'm guessing.
Color me shocked that you had no idea what was going on.
I'm guessing based off the post game comments of Wes Miller. We're surprised that Lock-in got the start. Is that?
Well, Lock-in was maybe a bit of a surprise over Kalu, and Mike Adams Woods over the new kid from Indiana.
Oh, Finney.
Rob Finney. Thank you.
Finney. No, like it was first of all, it was a great game. It's just damn it. I wish you would just pulled me on the podcast last night because I told you I should forget everything I wanted to say. No, the offense was great. The defense, the press defense, everybody said it. I missed the press defense as well. I didn't realize I missed the press defense until we were watching the game, and I was like, "Oh, yeah. Okay." I
said it. I said it was super nostalgic. Like, I was like, "Oh my god!" And you saw Wes Miller blow a gasket
because he was getting the 10-second calls.
They missed two, and then he got two. I think the rest of the game.
Yes. So I love that. I love the press. I love the man-to-man, which I think they played most of the game. I loved that we could count on other people other than David DeJulius.
Yeah.
David DeJulius didn't score his first point until it was late into the first half, right? Like, I want to say 10 minutes left.
He ended up, that'd only be halfway
mid.
through.
Yeah. So maybe 5 minutes left. No. I mean, he ended with the most points.
10 is halfway through.
Okay, sorry.
But he ended up with 9 of 15, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 or 5 from the free throw line. 24, right? Yeah.
24 points, yes. I also love the ball movement. In the years past, we've been just get the ball to one guy and then let him just do it. And it's always been David. Well, last year, at least, it was David DeJulius, right? So it's like, just get the ball to David and then the ball would just stay there. There was a lot of ball movement, which I think is what opened up Nolly for that first 3-pointer.
Yeah, he scored immediately.
It was him. And then
Davenport,
because that same thing happened in the beginning of the second half.
This team seemed unselfish last night.
Yes, very unselfish. So what I tweeted out last night is it's gonna be fun watching David Julius play this year because he's not gonna have the pressure of the game on his shoulders. There's gonna be other guys that we can count on to score baskets. In the past, it's always been like,
you bring up the pass. You bring up passing.
Yeah.
Who had your favorite pass?
Well,
not alley-oops, but who had your favorite pass?
Obviously, Victor with that behind the back pass.
So that was also my favorite. But a very, very close second was Landers Nolly. About 3/4 of the court, he had a bounce pass
for the dunk.
That there were defenders on either side of the bounce pass.
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenal pass
for the dunk, right?
For the break or the fast break dunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you when David tried that, or not David, JD tried that dunk? He went too much on that. He tried too hard. Would have been a great dunk if he would have pulled it off, though.
Came up short. But 2 alley-oops last night. Which one was your favorite? One by Skillings.
Yeah.
And one by Davenport.
I kind of like Davenport's only because no, that's when he got yelled at. But because at the end,
he got yelled on defense. He didn't get back.
Because he didn't go back on defense. Yeah. but like I like Davenport because he shows that emotion after he makes a big shot or a big dunk or something like that.
I think there was extra mustard on the dunk as well. I mean,
there was a little extra mustard.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. Skillings ended up on the floor. You gotta clean that up. You don't want to end up on the floor after an alley-oop, but if you want the style points anyway.
I thought Skillings played well last night too. 9 points.
Oh, we got hit with the girls.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's not good. How do we get that one? But when was the last time, and I said this to you before the show, when was the last time we had 4 players in double digits?
I don't know.
It's been a while. And I think it goes back to that whole sorry. I had a song stuck in my head. But it goes back to like that again. We're not counting on one guy to score the points. We're not counting on that one guy to carry the whole game. And again, this was Chaminade, right? So
right. They weren't tall, they had no length.
Wes said it after the game. He said, guys, it's the first game. Let's not.
They were out rebounded. Chaminade only had 5 offensive boards, 19 defensive, 24 total, as opposed to Cincinnati's 11 offensive, 30 defensive, 41 total. So Cincinnati out rebounded them 17 total and 6 alone offensively.
And there were guys coming off the bench that I completely forgot we had on the team. Like I completely forgot about Odie.
Well, we have talked about him at length on lots of different podcasts here.
I know, but I completely forgot about him. At least during the game last night, I completely forgot about him. But
well, he ended up with almost 10 minutes of playing time. So,
and there were so many times I wanted to tweet about Kalu last night, but I didn't want to mess up his name, so I stopped.
Sounds about right.
But is his name?
You struggle with normal English.
What's his nickname? Is it Juice?
I don't have the answer to that. Maybe Chad does.
Chad?
Here he comes.
Only nickname I know he goes by is Lou.
Oh, okay.
Lou. It's Kalu. Kalu. How could you mess that up on the internet?
Caillou.
Because it's me. Oh, I didn't wave like bye. I just meant because it's me.
No, he left because I mentioned Caillou.
I would leave.
He hates Caillou.
If Jeff was here, I would leave too.
PTSD about Caillou.
Yeah. What were your big takeaways from last night?
We talked
about last night, but
fuck Caillou.
Them kids.
We talked last night about it on our live stream, but John Newman with only 10.5 minutes of playing time was a little bit of a surprise, but there was nobody he had to lock down. There was nobody. I mean, it was a blowout victory. And again, when you talk about rotations and what have you, like, why would you get John Newman minutes in this particular game when you got a kid like Skillings you can get actual minutes for, who needs these minutes to try and figure out what the speed of play is in NCAA versus high school. And I mean, you can make that same argument for Vic still getting to where he wants to be.
Yeah. Wes said last night, this is the first full summer he's got to practice like all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which is one reason why he got to start last night.
Well, for a lot of these guys, this is the first offseason David DeJulius has had the same coach.
That's a good point, actually. Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of these guys that this is their first real offseason. So I don't know. I mean, that was probably my biggest surprise, as I'm, the plus minus 40 for Landers Nolly being in was
yes, that was ridiculous,
absurd. But
he's gonna be fun to watch, and
he's really good.
Penny screwed up on that one.
Yeah, he's really good.
And he screwed up on that one. I mean, thank you, Penny, for screwing up on that one.
Thinking back to Memphis' season last year, as much minutes as you gave to Amani Bates once he came back from injury and all of that, why did you do that when you had a Landers Nolly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't understand. So
interesting.
But I think we may see the Landers Nolly revenge tour throughout the remainder of the season.
That'd be fun.
Because when you spend like $1 million on Amani Bates, there are people that expect you to play Amani Bates if he's available.
Who spent that though? Was it FedEx? Was it who knows? Who knows?
Car dealership.
Whoever spent it. And there's an expectation of,
and now he's what, Emu, right?
Eastern Michigan, yeah. Well, it's some legal issues. I don't even know if he's playing.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they screwed up. They took a guy that was first team all conference the year before and marginalized him in their rotation.
But we still extended Penny's contract?
We didn't. Sorry. What's we?
Not us.
I had
not
nothing
us.
to do with it.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with it. They still extended Penny's contract, which is wild.
It's a little crazy.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting players. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bronny there. Ed, it's legal now. Like
I know.
I don't want to see this anymore. It doesn't it doesn't suck. It sucks that these kids are getting paid for playing.
No, it doesn't suck that these kids get paid for playing. I mean, good. They need to get paid for playing. But it just sucks that the schools that have the most money, it's turning into pro. That's all.
As it should.
It always was.
The
point is that it's above the table now.
It's above the table now, yes. We could talk about it.
You are worth whatever someone will pay you, Ed.
Every time.
That's every time. That's the reality of the situation.
That's why I go to bed crying at night.
I'm not any better at this than I was 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, I was making less than what Aaron is making now. I didn't all of a sudden become good at this. I just am now worth more because people will pay me more. Right? Like that's the reality. Like that's how it works.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Any surprises that I'm missing, Chad? Skillings went off, I guess.
One thing I did want to say.
I did think I do want to say Aaron made a great point. If Newman played more minutes, it probably would have come at the expense of getting Dan in there.
Yeah.
In a game where it was a great opportunity to really get Dan in there and let him make some mistakes and let him, be in a live game with some real action. I do think Dan is going to be a guy that
he's electric,
that has a factor and is going to get better. I think when we look at Dan in February, it's going to make a lot more sense than what we're like. Do I think Dan's going to be a major factor in Maui? Probably not.
I agree.
But John, But do I think when we get to conference play and we get into like that second time through the conference rotation, all of a sudden we're like, man, Dan's coming on. It's going to be because maybe John sacrificed a little for Dan early in the season. So I wanted to say that's a great point, Aaron. Good job.
Thanks.
So one thing that I did kind of, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this comment, but
we have 7 live viewers. What do you mean you're gonna get a lot of shit?
Because I'm gonna tweet it later tonight too. I haven't tweeted it yet, but I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this. In some ways, Wes reminded me of Bob Huggins last night.
Let him go.
No. I've let Bob Huggins go a long time ago, right? But we're talking about nostalgia. We're talking about we missed the press, we missed all that, right?
Fair enough.
The boys, the men, played damn good last night. But Wes never looked happy with it.
Nor should he. I mean, even after that alley-oop was late in the game.
Yeah.
For Davenport, and he was still mad. Like, get back on defense. Like, still mad. Didn't let up. You're up 30, and you're still mad. Still wanting guys to do things because, I mean, it's a tune-up game, Ed. Like, you have to consider that it's a tune-up game. So you don't want to be in a game where you're playing in conference against a Houston, where something like that happens, and you're busy flexing down the court,
and you could possibly lose the game because of it.
Correct.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is I like a coach who, no matter how good their team is playing, he still rides them because he knows they could be better, and he doesn't want them getting complacent.
Treat treat every game, every minute the same. I mean, you let
and I felt that out of West last night.
You let your foot off the gas, and you end up in a situation where you don't necessarily want to be. Truthfully,
you're right. That's what I like out of a coach. That's when I didn't play at a high level in high school, but like I had a coach who was like, I'd be like, hey coach, did you see that? And he'd be like, yeah, but did you see this, this, and this at the other end? I'm like, damn coach, come on. You know what I mean? Like, I like that kind of coach. I like that kind of coaching. So
any other things that you want to see going into Thursday's game against Cleveland State?
Didn't Cleveland State just lose?
They did.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd like to see more out of Jarrett Hensley. I'd like to see maybe see him play more.
The goddess.
KJ was on his game last night, huh?
No, he called Landers Nolly 4 different names.
I know. Jeez, my Discord just blew up. I'd like to see a little bit. I mean, he had 14 minutes of playing time last night. I'd like to see him score a little bit more. I think I'd like to see a little bit more out of Rob Finney too, coming from Indiana.
Yeah.
I think 19 minutes, but only 3 points. I think it's 3 points. I liked Kalu's little baseline thing last night too. That was nice. I don't know. Continue on. Let's not get complacent. With the we scored 98 the other night, so we're really, really good. We're not that good yet. So let's just keep this. Exactly. Foot on the neck.
Foot on the neck. Keep going. Do not let up. Like all of those cliche terms
things that they say.
But at the same time, like you want to see that from these guys, right? Like you want to see lock in, keep being locked in. You want to see that was specifically for Chad.
No, I said it last night. I said you might say that Vic is locked in.
He was so mad. But you want to see Nolly continue to come out of the gate from the very beginning. And you want to see him have plus minuses of 40 because my God. But this is what we talked about all offseason. This team has length for the first time in a very long time. Since Jacob Evans, since Jaron, Gary Clark, Trey Scott.
How about speaking of Jacob Evans? How about Jacob Evans' tweet last night about Bearcats basketball?
I mean, I know
stealing and dunking. That's the team I like.
He was watching. He said, "This is Bearcats basketball. Love it." But
I mean, we have Cleveland State, Eastern Kentucky. Go Colonels. I don't know what it is. That one's for Kayla, by the way. Northern Kentucky, go North. And then we have the Maui Invitational. So let's just keep building off. I mean, those are building in those 3 games. Take that into Arizona and see what happens.
Well, it's not into Arizona. It's into Hawaii.
Into the Arizona game, not into Arizona. Thank you.
I'm here for you, man.
I said the Maui.
I know you did. But you said into Arizona. We are not going into Arizona unless there is a connecting flight there that gets us to Hawaii. All right.
I saw Xavier suck last night, so that's good too.
So eventually, we hope to have in this portion of the night both your wrestling minute, which you don't have tonight, and your
They released an episode today. Caught me off guard.
Kelsey podcast recap, which is a segment that we're going to be doing here. Because you love it.
I love that podcast. I love
it. So the reason it came out today
because they have a second one tomorrow.
They have a Jalen Hurts show on Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday
coming out. I watched.
You watch it on YouTube? Today. Don't listen to it.
Is he gonna fuck around and win the MVP?
Maybe.
Especially if Josh Allen has any long-term issues with
the elbow.
Yeah.
So I actually I normally listen in the car, but today I listened to something that made my face hurt so bad I was laughing. Are you familiar with Two Bears, One Cave, Ed?
Yes, but I didn't catch today's yet.
So today, Tom Segura gave Bert Kreischer his birthday present.
They always one-up each other every year.
So
Hitler's teacup.
Like one that Hitler actually used?
At his vacation home. Yes.
Bert probably loved it.
Oh, Bert, but he's the entire time he kept saying, I can't keep this. We're going to get in so much trouble.
I have $2.
Like, it was so freaking funny, the entire exchange. Tom said he spent $22,000.
Whoa.
From a black market, like he had to get cash out of the bank in like different increments to like accumulate the $22,000 to give to this black market dealer in Idaho.
Yeah, anytime you're pulling over a certain dollar amount, I don't even know if I'm allowed to disclose that after having worked at a bank. I have no idea what the NDAs are on that.
Right.
But there's a certain dollar amount that you're not allowed to pull out of a bank without having red flags, and those red flags get reported to the government and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he gave him Hitler's teacup.
And I'm going to listen to that tomorrow morning.
Ed, my face hurt. I was driving to UC for the press conference this morning, and literally when I got there, I had to
put yourself back together.
Right. I knew I was going to be puffy. Like I was going to look like I was crying or something. I was laughing so hard at Segura giving Bert Hitler's teacup. And
Those
Segura's like,
hilarious.
Put your lips to it. Like Bert's like, everybody that comes to my house is going to want to see Hitler. You know how he gets when he's like hysterically.
Yes.
Everybody's going to come to my house and they're just going to want to see Hitler's teacup. And I can't keep it.
I might have to watch that one actually.
It because your face is getting redder.
Yeah.
I'm now an owner of Nazi memorabilia. And then Tom went on to tell the story of like it was a gift from the lady that like decorated Hitler's vacation home. Jeez. I mean, like he had the whole it was so good.
That's
it was
wild.
So good. So yeah, that's why I didn't get to watch New Heights today. Is because on my drive to UC and back, I was listening to Segura gift Bert Hitler's teacup.
Well, they did a flashback receipts like I had to do with Jeff and Aaron the other day because they were talking about Travis when he threw his helmet on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah,
and Jason's like, you said earlier in this season of this podcast that we'd never seen you with that kind of we would never see you do something like that. He goes, I never said that. And they had a flashback like episode 3 when it's like, oh no, you've never seen that.
They've only had 10 episodes.
Yeah.
They didn't have to dig far.
Not hard to go find that receipt.
Yeah.
And they might have of any podcast that's out there right now, they might have the best promotion of their podcast than anybody.
Oh, they have
every funny clip is like they
out
are
there on the TikTok.
Yeah, they are on it.
Well, it's also on Twitter.
And Two Bears One
TikTok.
Two Bears One Cave used to do that too. Like for a while, for like a month
good.
there.
It's not as great.
It doesn't show up on my feed as much as it used to.
Yeah, they're still really good, but
like when,
and it's always a Cincinnati promotion because Travis pretty
always
damn near always. I think there's one episode where he didn't wear UC paraphernalia.
Did you see the Ron White Two Bears One Cave it was just Tom and Ron White?
I listened to that one because I remember Ron White talking about how he doesn't drink anymore.
I listened to that one while I was driving around the country this summer doing AAU stuff.
Yeah.
And it was another one where Ron White was so funny. I was just, when he talked about, he had he left a package of stuff at one of his buddies' houses and the guy's son found it and did all the drugs that were in there. And they're like, we can't even yell at him. It was
that's the episode where he also talked about how he got pulled over on the way to a show.
Yeah, and they arrested him. They arrested
him. Showed
him
up to the show.
It was like a less than a gram of marijuana.
Yeah, it's something stupid.
They had to arrest him because he was smoking on the plane.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That whole thing was like when he bought a plane.
Yep.
That's where a lot of that came from. Is like
because they got him right on the tarmac, right? Something like that.
Right.
Yep.
They got him right. So yeah. If you're not a Two Bears, One Cave fan, one, what the hell are you doing?
Sometimes it's a little outlandish.
Well, it's those two.
Exactly.
They're the two most ridiculous human beings on the planet.
Yes.
But yeah. So I'll get to Kelsey probably tomorrow. I've got to go.
Yeah, I'll have 2 episodes for next week.
So I'll get to New Heights tomorrow.
And the only thing I saw on wrestling this week is, and we kind of, well, it was after the show, but Jake Paul, not Logan. Which one is it?
I think it's Jake that's in wrestling.
No, I think Jake's the one who just did.
Who cares? One of the Pauls.
It's Logan Paul. Logan Paul off the guy's a high flyer. The guy apparently, as Chad told me last night, apparently he's been studying wrestling for years. And you could tell because the kid is like frog splashes.
By studying, you mean watching. The same as any of us.
But like when he went up on the top rope with a cell phone and recorded it, and like perfect, kept like on him perfectly as he was doing that, whatever, onto the announcer's table. Just awesome. I know he lost and he tore like his MCL, PCL, all that kind of stuff, but I thought that was pretty awesome highlights I saw from that. So
lightning round.
Oh, hold on, lightning. We don't have a lot in there.
So Jason Williams, Cincy, Jay Williams, Cincy, who covers the Bearcats for the Enquirer, reported UC Athletic Director John Cunningham, sitting in for Luke Fickle on the 700 WLW Coaches Show, told Dan Horde that he wants Bearcats' new apparel deal locked in heading into Big 12 next year. Cunningham says he feels good about those talks.
So my Twitter just blew up all of a sudden, and I had about 23 notifications in here because I had liked, I guess it was Stewie, had put like he heard it was going to be Fila, and so I said it was going to be Puma, and all of a sudden people are blowing it up. So some of the speculation out there, Skechers has been confirmed. Shaq is going to bring his shoe back and run with the Bearcats. Chelsea says that she heard it was going to be Tom's. I said possibly and ones. And then Jason Solins said Crocs, and then Jay Williams, since he said Crocs Air. I guess it's confirmed it's going to be Crocs Air. Everything but Nike. That's crazy.
Weird.
How do you feel about that, Aaron? I mean, I did notice. So one of my buddies is a sneakerhead at work, and he did send me that there's going to be a release of a new shoe coming out. And now that this is happening, do you remember the Jumpman? These are called Jumpman Team 2s. And those are very similar to UC colors. Could that be a sign that it's going to be Jordan?
I don't know that that's a sign that it's going to be Jordan.
I'm reading too far into it.
What I do know is that it should be fun.
You're a jerk. Okay.
It should be fun.
Guess that's the buzzer. How about the did you play the Powerball last night?
No.
Okay, I did. I put $20 down.
Of course you did.
And I probably won, and that's why it was delayed. They're like, oh, this guy can't win. This guy out of Ohio can't win. But apparently Pecco's father-in-law sold the winning ticket. The winning $2 billion ticket. So congratulations to him. You said he gets $1 million out of that, Aaron?
Yeah, he gets $1 million.
So What would you do? So I heard the cash payout on that is like 950 million, or 950 million. What would you do? Like, we wouldn't see you again.
Or you get the increments.
Yeah.
That pay out more over the time of the increments.
Which is what I would do, because I would invest it for sure.
I was wrong on this. I thought I was right on this. I was wrong on this as I researched it. They take the taxes out of the lump sum.
Yeah.
So when you get the lump sum, the taxes are already gone.
Already taken out.
Just the lump sum.
You're done.
You're done. That's it.
You're done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you only get like.
I thought there were additional taxes taken out after you got the lump sum.
Mm-mm.
I would take the lump sum. And for the longest time, I was in the
payments.
Considering where inflation continues to go, I want nothing to do right now at this very moment in time to do with future payments, because you end up in the Bobby Bonilla deal to where the money that you could have had is not worth the same as the money at the end of the deal.
But Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid a good amount of money, not play baseball.
Sure.
Yeah, but you're subject to the taxes every year.
That changed.
So however the tax stuff changes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Take the lump sum, throw it in an account with a good interest rate on it, and just let that ride.
I would never throw it into an account with a good interest rate. You're talking about a CD.
Okay, whatever. I don't know math. I would
you invest it into land.
Whatever, yeah.
Oh no, I would invest. Yeah, I would definitely invest in some
stuff. That was not what you said.
Well, I mean, I would put so sorry. I wasn't going completely detailed into what I would do. But yes, I would invest in land. I already told Parker that if we ever won the lottery, I would buy land with a turf soccer field. And then he would make every soccer team that he ever tried out for, because I would let that be the home field of all those soccer teams. It would be the best home field possible. And it would also be a flag football field, so we can go play. Okay. Anyways, congratulations to that guy. I guess I'll go with the next one again. Yeah. In a weird turn of events, Jeff Saturday is now the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. How do you feel about that?
I hate it. If I'm being
from the high school to the pros.
I hate it. This league is starved for minorities getting an opportunity. That's
huge topic right now. Yes,
getting an opportunity, and the fact that it doesn't sound like they went through the Rooney Rule to even get to this point.
I heard.
I wonder if it's because it's interim. You don't have to go through the.
That's what I heard. Because it's interim head coach, it doesn't have to go through the Rooney Rule. I'm not an expert on that. I'm not an attorney. I just worked for one for 5 years, but that's what I'm hearing.
I don't know how you don't have somebody on the staff. Also, I saw a tweet at some point today where Frank Reich they listed the quarterbacks that he's had over the last 5 years since he took over, or the last 5 quarterbacks that he had, whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't the last 5 years. I don't know. But it started with Andrew Luck, who retired, and then went through the 5 quarterbacks. He hasn't had shit to work with. He had everybody who you wanted in like 2008.
He's had everybody after their career has been good.
Yeah. And he still put together a winning record. Maybe that's because of Jonathan Taylor. I don't. Jonathan Taylor is what, 2-3 years in the league? It couldn't all have been because of Jonathan Taylor, but it seems a mess. And again, there's only 32 spots in this league, and you're giving one to Jeff Saturday coming from high school. Come on, man. What are we doing?
I have to wonder if Pat McAfee was on the short list.
Of course.
All right, I'll go with the next one again. Aaron, I started a Discord channel for the show because I've been trying to find ways of getting like our old, an easy place for people to get our old episodes, like our old interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I started a Discord. So if anybody's interested in joining the Discord, let me know.
Cool.
Still you. Yeah, still me. Fortnite. I'm playing it again. Have you played it recently?
It's been probably close to a month.
So one of the soccer dads he decided with, I guess, one of his buddies from work, they were going to start drinking bourbon and playing Fortnite on Friday and Saturday nights. So Friday night, I got some bourbon and I signed on, and it was him and I destroying little kids in Fortnite. It was a great night. We won. My next one.
I miss Jeff.
My next one. And I know you're not a country music fan, but will you give Zach Bryan a try?
No.
It's not like real. It's a lot like Dashboard Confessionals.
It's not.
I need you to give Zach Bryan at least a try.
That was a whole point?
Yes, just give him a try.
That was terrible. Move on. Isaiah Collier is going. His team is traveling to Sycamore High School,
just right up the street.
And he's going to be.
Need Ed to be there to provide content on what this scene is like. Ed, Saturday, 3:30. I need you at Sycamore High School. I need your take on the scene around Isaiah Collier playing in Cincinnati 4 days out from his commitment.
Wear one of your UC jerseys.
I think I have something going on Saturday.
Cancel it.
Can't, because it's something to do with work, I think. I'll look at it and I'll see what I can do. Because it is just right up the street.
Also not a work day.
But it's a work
Saturday.
thing. I'm leaving Monday for a work conference.
I don't know what that has to do with Saturday.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, I got stuff. Okay. But I'll give it a shot. Yes, I will give it a shot. 3:00, you said?
3:00. Yeah. It's a high school scrimmage. It's not going to be like a 5-hour deal.
Chad, we didn't talk about this on the nightcap tonight. Do you have anything you want to add to the strangeness about this happening?
If you can go. I'll just leave it.
Does it seem weird that this was scheduled?
Aaron, it's just really good. There's really good high school basketball in Ohio.
How long ago was this scheduled? Did they pull a pandemic where they were like, let's just do this?
No, there's stuff I can't get in. Like,
just really good high school basketball in Ohio. There's really good high school basketball in Ohio, and they just wanted to challenge themselves.
Let's just say I think the thing was supposed to be played somewhere else, and instead it's being played at Sycamore. Go. If you can go. We'll just say that.
Nip at Night is on Friday, and they're wearing the All Blacks. How excited are you that they are finally wearing All Blacks?
Well, it makes sense.
It's a Nip at Night. Like, that's a Nip at Night thing. The All Blacks are Nip at Night.
I get it, but I'm just, how excited are you to see the All Blacks finally making their triumphant return during Nip at Night?
Do you feel better about the outcome, Ed? Now that you know they're in the All Blacks.
Yeah, because it's not a white helmet.
Oh my god.
You really leave that one?
This is where you play the buzzer.
Is that he left on that one?
Do we have a bum of the week?
I don't have a bum of the week. I couldn't think of one.
I'm just tired.
Yeah, I assumed you were. We made 123. Jeff didn't make it.
We're at 128.
123.
I'm showing 128.
Shit, what did I just do? Mine says 123 in the live in the top left-hand corner next to the number.
Yeah, it says we're about to hit 129 in 4, 3, 2, 1. There's 129.
Interesting. Mine says 124, 15.
129.
Interesting.
Just saying. That was another episode of Pardon the Punctuation. No Jeff tonight. We did our best. Ed, thank you for watching games this weekend. I appreciate that. Thank you to Chad for hopping in where it was necessary, and even those times it wasn't. But for Ed Mayhall, I am Aaron Smith. This was another episode of Pardon the Punctuation, brought to you by Bearcat Journal, and we're out.
Ba-da-ba.
See ya!